The eastern border of Europe is changing forever, and it is not doing so with heavy tanks or intercontinental ballistic missiles, but with a silent and lethal technology that promises to make Vladimir Putin's war machine look ridiculous. For the past few years, the world has watched in horror as suicide drones of Iranian and Russian manufacture, such as the Shahed and the Gerbera, have terrorized entire cities, evading multi-million-dollar defenses thanks to their low cost and saturation capability. But Poland, a nation that knows very well the price of invasion and the importance of sovereignty, has decided that enough is enough. Warsaw has not merely observed the conflict in Ukraine, it has learned from it. What Poland has just built is not just a concrete wall or a radar network, it is a comprehensive system baptized SAN, a key piece of the ambitious Eastern Shield that seeks to turn Polish airspace into a black hole for any unmanned device that attempts to cross it. We are looking at an investment of more than 3,500 million euros with a single chilling objective for the Kremlin: to make Russian suicide drones, from this point forward, completely useless. Leave your like, subscribe, and share. Let's begin. To understand the magnitude of what Poland is deploying, we must go back to September of 2025, a month that marked a before and after in the security of NATO's eastern flank. In an unprecedented provocation, close to 20 Russian drones entered Polish airspace, forcing the army to shoot down at least 3 of them, and triggering diplomatic alarms under Article 4 of the Atlantic Alliance. That Russian hybrid war, designed to test Warsaw's nerves and the West's response capacity, found a response that Putin did not expect. Poland did not limit itself to protesting. It accelerated the creation of a multi-layered defense so sophisticated that it combines the brute force of artillery with the invisible precision of electronic warfare. The SAN system is the culmination of that effort, a protective network that this very year, 2026, is beginning to become an operational reality on the borders with Belarus and Ukraine, closing the door on the asymmetric tactics that had been so successful on other fronts of battle until now. The core of this system is its multi-layer capability, which sets it apart from traditional air defense systems. Most surface-to-air missiles are designed to shoot down combat aircraft or cruise missiles that cost millions. Using them against a $20,000 drone is financial ruin. The SAN system solves this by using a combination of state-of-the-art sensors. First, high-definition radars detect the minimal signature of a plastic or wooden drone from kilometers away. Then, optoelectronic heads lock onto the target visually, allowing the military command to know exactly what it is facing. But the magic happens in the neutralization phase. Poland has integrated electronic jamming systems, or jammers, that can fry the navigation circuits of Russian drones, cutting their link with satellites or their operators, and turning them into simple pieces of junk that fall to the ground before reaching their target. But what happens if the drone is resistant to interference, or flies in a massive swarm? This is where the unstoppable part of Polish engineering comes in: kinetic, smart munition weapons. The SAN system uses 30 and 35mm cannons that are true marvels of modern ballistics. Unlike old artillery that required a direct hit, these cannons fire programmable projectiles. The radar calculates the exact position of the drone and sends a signal to the projectile as it leaves the barrel. The round detonates in mid-air, directly in front of the target, creating a shrapnel cloud that guarantees the drone's destruction. It is an intelligent steel curtain that makes it physically impossible for a suicide drone to penetrate the defense zone. Poland has created an economical and technical solution that nullifies the low-cost advantage of Russian Shaheds, forcing Moscow to completely rethink its entire long-range attack strategy. The deployment of the Eastern Shield is massive and strategic. The SAN system's batteries are being placed at critical points along the eastern border, covering thousands of kilometers of territory that were previously vulnerable to surprise incursions. This network not only protects military targets, but also critical civilian infrastructure, power plants, and logistical centers that are vital to the country's functioning and to the support Poland provides to its allies. The funding, which comes largely from European funds and the national defense budget, reflects a continental priority. Poland has become Europe's shield. By investing these 3,500 million euros, Warsaw is sending a clear message. The era of impunity for Russian drones in European skies is over. What was once a constant threat now faces a technological barrier that never sleeps and that learns with every detected incursion. The electronic warfare technology incorporated into the SAN system is especially devastating against the newer drone models such as the Gerbera. which Russia has attempted to use as decoys to exhaust Ukrainian defenses. The Polish system is capable of classifying targets in real time, distinguishing between real drones loaded with explosives and simple wooden decoys designed to fool radar. By ignoring the decoys and concentrating its firepower and electronics on real threats, Poland maximizes its efficiency and ensures that its smart munition inventory is used in the most effective way possible. This artificial intelligence applied to the battlefield is what truly makes the system unstoppable, as it adapts to the enemy's changing tactics faster than the Kremlin can manufacture new prototypes. Leave your like, subscribe, and share. As we advance through this 2026, the first elements of the SAND system are already active, marking a milestone in the military history of the region. Full operational capability is expected by 2027, but even in its initial phase, the presence of this shield has changed the perception of security on the eastern flank. Polish citizens living near the border, who once feared the sound of lawnmower engines in the sky, now see the towers and radars of the SAND system as a guarantee of peace. Geopolitically, this positions Poland as the undisputed leader in anti-drone defense within the European Union and NATO, surpassing in vision and execution traditional powers that are still trying to adapt their armies to the reality of drone warfare that Poland has already deciphered. Poland's success with the SAND system also has a direct impact on the global defense industry. Countries around the world are watching how Warsaw has managed to integrate radars, electronic warfare, and programmable artillery into a single coherent ecosystem. It is likely that the Polish model will be exported or replicated by other nations bordering Russia, such as the Baltic states or Finland, creating an uninterrupted technological wall stretching from the Arctic to the Black Sea. Putin, by attempting to intimidate Poland with his drone incursions in 2025, only succeeded in awakening a technological giant that has now built the definitive cure against his asymmetric attacks. The hunter has become the prey, and Polish skies are now the most dangerous place in the world for any Russian technology that attempts to violate them. Furthermore, the SAND system does not function in isolation. It is integrated into NATO's command and control network, which means that information detected by a Polish radar on the border can be shared instantaneously with early warning aircraft or Patriot missile systems in other parts of the continent. This interoperability multiplies the strength of the defense, creating situational awareness that makes any attempt at a surprise attack by Russia practically impossible. Hybrid warfare, which was based on confusion and denial, loses its effectiveness when the defender has electronic eyes that see through darkness and interference, and steel hands that can strike with millimeter precision. Poland has not only built a wall, it has built a digital nervous system for the defense of the West. The economic sustainability of the SAND system is another of its strong points. By using 35mm cannons with programmable ammunition rather than high-cost interceptor missiles, Poland can keep its defense active for extended periods without exhausting its finances. A smart ammunition loader for these cannons costs a fraction of a single Stinger or Starstreak missile, allowing the SAND system to face waves of hundreds of simultaneous drones if necessary. This endurance capability is vital in a modern war of attrition, where victory is often decided by who can maintain their defense longer and more economically. Warsaw has understood that the war of the future is a war of numbers, and they have designed the SAND system to win that arithmetic battle against the Kremlin. Looking toward the near future, Poland's development suggests that the era of suicide drones as dominant strategic weapons could be coming to an end, at least against prepared nations. Polish innovation has demonstrated that there is a technical response to every threat, as long as there is political will and strategic vision. As Putin's drones become useless against the Eastern Shield, the balance of power in Europe shifts. Poland is no longer just a buffer zone, it is a technological fortress that dictates the terms of security on the continent. The message to the world is clear. In the arms race of the 21st century, Poland has taken the lead, building something truly unstoppable that protects not only its borders but the future of freedom in Europe. In conclusion, the SAND system is far more than a response to a provocation. It is the birth of a new global standard of defense. Poland has known how to transform the fear of the 2025 incursions into the strength of an impregnable infrastructure. Russian suicide drones, once seen as the vanguard of a new way of making war, now find themselves up against an invisible wall of interference and a storm of intelligent fire from which there is no escape. Warsaw has demonstrated that, with the right investment and the appropriate technology, human ingenuity can overcome any asymmetric threat. As the Eastern Shield continues to grow and strengthen, the world watches how a determined nation has achieved what many considered impossible, neutralizing the Kremlin's greatest aerial threat without firing a single nuclear missile, simply by using science, engineering, and the courage of a people that refuses to become a victim of history again. The construction of the SAN system marks the end of an era of vulnerability and the beginning of an era of total technological deterrence. Poland has finished building its future, and in that future, Putin's drones have no place. The effectiveness of this shield will undoubtedly be put to the test, but the foundations are already laid. Radars that see the invisible interference systems that nullify the enemy's electronic will, and cannons that never miss. This is the new face of geopolitics in Eastern Europe, a face that looks firmly to the east and says, none shall pass. The investment of 3,500 million euros now seems a small price to pay for the security of millions and for the futility of Russian aggression. Poland has built something unstoppable, and the world, for better or worse, has changed forever because of it. Leave your like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.